Good morning. I'm Tom Larkin and a longtime member here at St. Jerome's Parish. And I just wanted to say that for several years now, Father Dave has really brought out the, if you will, facilitator priest, bringing out the spirit in the community. Lorraine and I have been blessed to be part of the parish and really enjoy the way the leaders do that. And I also want to say thank you to Father Rojan for inviting these reflections. Again, the idea of priests unfolding the Spirit in the community. And by the way, everybody, it's May 19th. 1 year ago today, Father Rojan was installed. Congratulations on an amazing year. So here's my reflection this morning. In honoring Nouwen's book, he speaks, in one of his books, he speaks of spiritual movements that we make in our lives. One example was when we move from loneliness to solitude. So it gave me the idea for this reflection, and I'm going to share a few thoughts on the idea of moving from reaction to response, moving away from reacting and moving into responding. So with that, I'll do a little description of those words. And then secondly, I'll link this to John's Gospel. And then third, provide a little, we'll call it a mental exercise for additional insight. Today's reading, Jesus says to the disciples, "It's better for you that I go, for if I don't go, the Advocate Spirit will not come." I can imagine the followers' reaction. "No, don't go, don't leave us, you're Jesus, you can do what you want." Classic instant reaction type of thing. And yet there were some other ones, quick reactions in the Bible. At the Garden of Gethsemane, Peter was pretty quick with the sword to cut off the guard's ear. That's what I mean by reacting. And I'll bet you all have moments where you could say, when you said something to somebody and you felt, ooh, I shouldn't have said that so quickly. That's an example of reacting. Consider reaction as fast, quick, reflexive. Think of response now as a little more conscious, thoughtful, intentional. When someone speaks supportively about a political candidate that you don't like, we sometimes react quickly with a counterpoint. When discussing family issues with a family member, we react similarly. Let's consider responding, on the other hand, as more conscious. It's intentional, as I mentioned, and it brings out the true self. Not the generically thoughtful person, but someone who you intend to be. It comes from a deeper sense of self. Responding is the thermostat mindset. We make adjustments while listening to the environment. When it's cold, the thermostat waits for a temperature before it sends in the cooler air or the warmer air. When Jesus says, "It's good that I go," it's hard to hear that. Carl Jung, the famous psychologist, was quoted once as saying, "Don't hold on to someone who's leaving. Otherwise, you won't meet who's coming." Our spiritual development requires growth. New ideas, new relationships, new meanings. We must embrace ambiguity, and we need to trust the darkness at times. In the words of Teilhard de Chardin, only God could say what this new spirit gradually forming within us will be. Give our Lord the benefit and believe that his hand is leading us. And accept that anxiety of feeling yourself in suspense and incomplete. How do we accept that anxiety? It's an important ingredient. We've got to trust the darkness for our spiritual development. We need to move towards responding and watch out for that quick reacting that hits us. Okay, so far we've got reaction as an indication of being too quick, not aligning with the deep spirit within, and we've got responding with respect and compassion, sends a spirit message. out to the world. Now let's consider that advocate spirit that's in John's gospel. And I'm going to assert and suggest that it's that spirit that's a pause, and it gives you the responding mindset. That spirit gives you patience not to react in knee-jerk situations, confidence to ask another question, calm to indicate you're grounded and secure, and a listening heart to earnestly understand their point of view, someone else's point of view. And it's the way to communicate love in a challenging moment. So in considering another one of the psychologist's quotes, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to a deeper understanding of ourselves. Consider that. And here's your takeaway exercise. Write down the name of someone who irritates you. Secondly, write down what it is that they do that irritates you, and see if you can make a connection between that irritation and something that you need to develop in your life. And lastly, if you make that connection, if you understand yourself a touch more, you'll be more likely to respond with that advocate. And in closing, I'd like to just share a short 8-line poem by Bonnie Thurston. And it has a lot to do with these responding thoughtfully lines, and I think you'll appreciate it. It's called A Little Room of Minor Hermitage, and it goes like this. Greet the day for safety throughout the night. Rekindle and nurture the heart's fire. Care for life on this bit of land. Work, pray, rest. Avoid judgment. Do no harm. Think about what matters. Eschew the trivial. Attend to the body. Welcome guests and stranger. Take what comes with gratitude. Give what is needed with gladness. Greet nights with courage. Review the day for small joys overlooked in living it. Then, trust the darkness. Take good care, everyone. Bye for now.